Hey friends, today on Gardening with Creekside, we are going to be working in the hydrangea flower bed back here on the back of our property, and we are going to be planting a load of beautiful native plants that are sure to attract the pollinators to your garden by the hundreds, if not thousands, in the summertime. So we've got a lot of fun plants. These are all what we call non-branded plants. That means they don't belong to a specific plant company. Also hopefully means that they are going to be more readily available, that you can find them from a lot of different sources. So they're all going to be in black pots because they are non-branded, but these are wonderful, tried and true native plants that will, like I said, bring in the pollinators. They are, most of them, I think if not all of them, are really nice and drought tolerant, beautiful summer interest into fall. They support the pollinators, they support the birds, all sorts of great things, and they're all going to naturalize. Naturalize, of course, means that they're just going to naturally spread, not be invasive. They're just going to naturally spread and kind of fill in as the years go on. So here I am. I've got Johnny with me right here. And Johnny is loaded down. We have got all sorts of fun things because, you know, plants that are at the nursery, if they stay around too long, then Jenny's going to grab them. So let's just go through the plants that we're going to talk about today and that we're going to plant. Here I have a nice tall, they're also right here in the back. This is a hyssop or an agastaki. This is Blue Fortune. Blue Fortune I first read about in a pollinator article in a gardening magazine. Full sun, gorgeous plant. Let me clean off my tag here for you. It is going to be about 24 to 36 inches tall. We're going to space them at a minimum 2 feet apart. We're going to spread ours a little bit further, at least 6 hours or more of sun a day. Zones 4 to 9. It will bloom in midsummer to early fall, and it just does beautiful, really upright habit to it. I think that you can tell from just the habit of this plant already right here. I mean, just look at that. Nice and tall and upright. We planted these last year, so they have overwintered, doing really well, and are probably really ready to get out of the pot. So we've got Blue Fortune back there. Then we're going to do some purple coneflowers. This is a classic plant. This is Magnus, and Magnus will do full sun to part shade. It is an echinacea, and it is going to be about 3 feet tall. That does include the bloom. Same spacing as far as the Blue Fortune. Zones 3 to 8. Same time of bloom, midsummer to early fall, and will be just a great plant. Now, you notice that this one's a little bit smaller, so I'm probably going to go ahead and group them in like groups of 2 and kind of plant them together just so they kind of make a nice little statement right away. Then here we have another beautiful upright plant. This is a solidago. This is Fireworks, and I went ahead because for whatever reason, there's no tag on this. So I did pull up the information on my phone because solidago typically can get a bad rap that people think it's this noxious weed, that it's just yucky. It is not. This is Fireworks, and Fireworks is a really well-behaved goldenrod. That's the common name for it. And it brings in the pollinators massively. It's called Fireworks because of the way that the stems and the blooms their habit is very arching, and so it looks like fireworks exploding. This is going to be 3 to 4 feet tall when it's in flower. It will spread 3 to 4 feet in about 3 to 4 years. So lots of 3s and 4s there. It's going to be hardy in zones 5 to 9, and this is going to be a late bloomer. So in the fall, it's going to be perfect. Like for us, like roughly September, and it'll bloom for about a month. It is a nice evergreen. So all of these, maybe except for the hyssop, the Blue Fortune, I believe all of these are going to have some, like you're going to be able to see them in the wintertime. It'll just be like a little mat of green. But the solidago is really fun. It's great for your pollinators in the end of the summer when maybe other things are not blooming. Then the Fireworks does a great job. And then back here, you might be able to see those nice, big, huge, massive leaves right there. That is Rudbeckia, and that is Goldstrom. And so Black-eyed Susan, right? We all know and adore Black-eyed Susans. So Goldstrom is a great cultivar of Black-eyed Susan. It has nice sturdy habit on it, golden daisy-like flowers. Now have a nice dark brown center. So we're having a lot of yellows. We have the yellows and we have purples and we have pinks in here. This is going to be hardy in zones 4 to 10. So extremely, extremely adaptable. And it is a full sun to part sun and low to average water needs, because that's going to be the thing about this space right here, is that this has 0 irrigation, right? This is called y'all better live or you're on your own, right? And so what we have in here currently is just 2 different plants. We have the phantom hydrangeas. Phantoms are extremely similar to limelight hydrangeas, so nice big presence. This will be the 3rd summer, I believe, that these are in here. When we planted these, we planted them in the summer, and then last year they were here. They did okay. It was the first year, again, not on irrigation. We had some blooms, not a huge, massive show. I expect we'll have a good show this year. We've had beautiful growth on them. So they are here, and then you can see we do have a nice healthy weed population in here as well. 'Tis the season, y'all. But all of these little clumps right here are daffodils, jonquils, and I planted, Randy, Kelly, and I planted these in January, December of this year, and they were absolutely spectacular. They were the most beautiful jonquils you have ever seen in your life, daffodils. Here in the South, we grow jonquils because they're heat tolerant, but the jonquil is in the daffodil family. So all this foliage is going to go away, right? So it will die back. Right now, I'm just leaving it alone. Let it do all of its wonderful photosynthesis work so that it is storing up energy for next year's flower. So I'll have another gorgeous display next year. So we're going to place all of these plants, these natives, within this bed, and you're just going to have to use your imagination that the jonquil foliage is not here, because it will be gone when these plants are blooming. So I too have to use my imagination and pretend that it's not here, because they'll just die back. The good thing about planting it now, while I can see where my bulbs are, is that I don't hit my bulbs and I don't dig them up. So I'm going to get these placed. We're going to get them in the ground. While we're in this space, I'm going to try to get the big weeds out, and I am going to fertilize my hydrangeas with the rose tone. Rose tone is a great way to fertilize your hydrangeas because it is a flowering, woody, ornamental shrub, and they have very similar nutritional needs as roses. So those are from our friends at Proven Winners and Spring Meadow Nursery, which is the home of the Color Choice shrubs. Even though these are not Proven Winners, these are still panicle hydrangea, and if it works for one panicle hydrangea or any hydrangea, it's going to work for another. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to come through here and get the big weeds out and place these plants, and then I'll meet you back here in just a second. Okay, so I have all of the plants spaced out and placed where I want them. There is not a huge, exact science here on putting these plants out because this flower bed is literally at the back of our property. Yes, we see it from the patio. The dahlia garden is just right here beside of me, but I really want this to be kind of a free-form, more natural looking area. Yes, the hydrangeas are in rows and we've got the jonquils and things are somewhat in rows, but this is definitely going to be a free-form, not formal whatsoever type of garden filled with just beautiful plants that will bring us seasons of interest, starting with the daffodils in the spring, then the probably the hydrangeas will be next. Maybe the blue fortune will kind of pop in the same time that the hydrangeas do, and then it will carry us through all the way through the fall. As I find more fun perennials that are native, dry loving, that can handle this, because I seriously doubt we would ever put this bed on irrigation. So this is just a fun area to attract butterflies, pollinators, hummingbirds, all the good things in our garden, and just to really have more of that kind of a, not even like a cottage garden, it's more like a woodland, kind of like a nice meadow type garden. So that is where they are. I did group the purple cone flowers. They are in groups of 2 or 3 just because they are small. Everybody else is singles all the way throughout there. So what I'm going to do is I have my black gold, the ultra outdoor planting mix. This is a great one for when you're amending the soil, because this soil is flat out straight red clay. There is nothing good or really does not have a lot of good organic material in it. So I want to help these plants out just a little bit so that they have a good start, because we are going into, you know, the warm season, and I want them to have as much nutrition and food as possible. So what I'm going to do is I have 4 bags. I'm just going to kind of spread these bags out for those plants. So I'm going to leave, before I even plant the plants, I'm going to go through and shake some of this around where each pot is. That way when I have my auger and I drill my holes, then that will get mixed in with that soil. Later on in the season, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we will come back through here and mulch this flower bed. We may wait until the daffodils start to turn yellow and go down, then we can just cover them with the mulch. That would probably be the easiest thing, because this bed does need to be mulched. It was not mulched last year, and then when we came through and installed and planted all of the daffodils, it brought up a lot of the natural soil. So it needs to be mulched. That will help in the weeds a ton. When you have a nice thick layer of mulch, it helps retain moisture and it helps control the weeds. So we're going to put that down. Then I'm going to use my biotone with every single plant. My power planter, I have my, I think it's the 9-inch, it's for the 3 gallons. Yes, these are only 1-gallon containers, but by doing a nice big hole, it aerates the soil all around that, where the pot is going to go into the ground, the plant's going to go in the ground. And so that way my roots can really get going and get established and get very, very happy. So that's what I'm going to do. This is going to be the grunt work of the day, is getting this spread, getting those in the ground, and it'll feel good. I am racing against the sun. The sun comes up behind me and it's gonna come over really quickly. So we're gonna try to get this done as fast as we can, because it's gonna be like 86 today. Yep, there you go. 86 today, and then I think the low on Monday, so today is Thursday, the low like on Monday or Sunday is like 38. So gotta love springtime, folks. So we're gonna get it done. Okay, my friends, today's project is complete. We've got lots of beautiful natives in this space. It's going to give us beautiful flowers in the summer and all the way into fall. And I got my panicle hydrangeas fertilized, so that is an excellent thing. You will see that you saw how precise I was when I was fertilizing those. I simply just got the bag of rose tone and shook a good amount of fertilizer directly on top of the hydrangeas, then went through and kind of get in the little zhuzh, so all of that fertilizer just falls off of them. You can do that when the plant is dry because the fertilizer is not going to stick to the plant. Just make sure and kind of brush it off, because if it left on there for a long time, it could burn the leaves, and so we don't want that. So you just kind of shake it down, and then there you go. Now, I did go ahead, I've started to learn that I need to label my plants, at least like in this area where there's multiples of the same kind. I just came in and there's a group of everybody right in here together. So everybody got a name tag, so when I come up here or I have a visitor in the garden, they can see what they are. I got these nice little copper tags from my beloved Kinsman Garden. They have several different ones, and then I use a plant marker. It's kind of like a Sharpie, but it's not a Sharpie. It's UV protected and all the things. And so that way everybody has a nice name on it, so that can stay here. I'm going to try to do that every time I plant some flowers, so that either when like I said, when I'm in here, I can remember exactly what the plants are, because after a while, some of these start to run together a little bit. Now, I am fully aware that this project today is not a massive transformation. In fact, it may be kind of hard to even see that I did anything in here. But I did add lots of beautiful, like I said, native plants that are going to give me gorgeous flowers for my pollinators, summer color, late summer color, fall color. So you may look at it and go, well, gosh, Jenny, it's not real impressive here today. But this is the thing about gardening, right? So you have to be able to envision things, envision what it's going to look like. I am planting this for long term. I am planting this for a completely different season than we currently are right now. I am planning ahead, so that way when it is hotter than Hades out here, this garden is going to be beautiful and full of flowers, and just do really nice. So that's why we say plant for 4 seasons. I know we're in early spring and we are all about the massive flower power with annuals, and I love them, right? I use them tons. It's just that today's project, we're looking ahead and looking towards the dog days of summer and fall, where I want to have beautiful color here. So be thinking of that when you visit your local garden center, and you should be able to find these pretty readily available, because like I said, they are non-branded and they are widely out there on the market, and just great, proven, successful native plants that you can add to your full sun garden. As always, I hope you have found this fun, informative, and inspiring. As always, we so appreciate you. Thank you for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.